black guy marries a millionaire old woman to pull off a scam and take all her money, but he never imagined that she would do to him. Hilary Standish was unlike any other senior citizen. Her striking blue eyes and flowing silver hair exuded elegance and wisdom. As a self-made millionaire, she had built her fortune through determination and exceptional business skills. Her grand mansion was filled with valuable antiques, each with its own story, and her wardrobe featured luxury brands that many could only dream of. Yet despite her wealth and lavish lifestyle, she carried a deep sense of solitude. Every weekend, Hilary visited art galleries, finding comfort in the creativity of artists from different periods. It was during one of these visits to a quaint downtown gallery that Hilary's life took an unexpected turn. The gallery displayed modern art, vibrant and chaotic, reflecting the complexities of contemporary life. While engrossed in admiring a stunning artwork, Hilary sensed a presence beside her. She turned and was greeted by a beaming smile and sparkling eyes. Ralph, a man in his late 20s, stood before her, clad in a pristine white shirt and dark trousers. With a natural charm and a clear love for art, Ralph struck up a conversation about the artwork they both admired. His enthusiasm, coupled with his insight into the brushwork and the emotions depicted, left Hilary impressed. With each encounter, their connection deepened. Ralph, brimming with vitality, injected a new perspective into Hilary's life. He shared stories of his travels, his adventures, and his aspirations. His laughter was contagious, and soon Hilary found herself captivated by his charisma. Rumors began to circulate among Hilary's social circle. Friends and family exchanged knowing glances, expressing doubts about Ralph's intentions through whispered conversations. After all, the intensity of a young man's affection for a woman nearly triple his age seemed unlikely, if not implausible. Many speculated that it was Hilary's considerable wealth that truly captured Ralph's interest. But Hilary, now feeling a vitality she hadn't felt in years, dismissed their concerns. She saw in Ralph a kindred spirit, a soul that mirrored her younger self, ambitious, passionate, and free-spirited. Ralph, for his part, seemed genuinely captivated by Hilary. He listened with rapt attention to stories of her struggles, her triumphs, and the lessons she had gleaned over the years. Their weekends were filled with visits to new places, shared meals, and laughter. Soon, Hilary introduced Ralph to the finer things in life: opera, wine-tasting events, and luxurious parties. In return, Ralph showed her the thrill of spontaneous road trips, late-night beach walks, and the joy of dancing under the stars. Months turned into a whirlwind romance, and before anyone could truly fathom the depth of their connection, wedding bells chimed. In a private ceremony, Hilary and Ralph exchanged vows, sealing their unlikely union. The event, attended by Hilary's closest friends and relatives, was a bittersweet affair. While the joy of seeing Hilary so lively and happy was palpable, the undercurrent of doubt about Ralph's true motives remained. Yet, as Hilary danced with Ralph, the twinkle in her eyes was undeniable. At that moment, it didn't matter what the world thought or said. In the twilight of her life, Hilary had found a love that made her heart sing. Whether it was genuine or time would reveal a different story. For now, Hilary basked in the glow of her newfound happiness. Rachel had known Hilary for over 4 decades. They'd been through everything together: the highs of success, the lows of heartbreak, and the countless challenges in between. Hilary's recent marriage to Ralph had always troubled Rachel. The age difference, the haste, and Ralph's too perfect demeanor made Rachel's protective instincts go into overdrive. Deciding to act upon her suspicions, she reached out to a discreet private investigator known for his impeccable track record. Days turned into weeks, and Rachel waited with bated breath. The investigator, a wiry man named William, finally called her for a meeting at a quiet coffee shop. William slid a dossier across the table, cautioning Rachel about its contents. As she flipped through the pages filled with photos and notes, the color drained from her face. The evidence was irrefutable. Ralph had been leading a double life, simultaneously seeing younger women behind Hillary's back. Armed with this information, Rachel confronted Ralph one evening at a bar he frequented. The dim lighting and muted jazz playing in the background contrasted sharply with the intensity of the confrontation. Rachel's voice, though low, was fraught with anger. "How could you do this to Hillary? She deserves better than your deceit." Ralph's laughter was cold, dismissive. "Hillary is an old woman living in a fairy tale." He smirked, taking a sip of his drink. "I give her company, and she gives me a taste of the good life. It's a fair deal." Rachel's threat that Hillary would find out about his infidelities and his subsequent fallout seemed to barely faze him. He left the bar with a confident swagger, believing he had everything under control. But things began to shift. Whether it was his overconfidence or a simple carelessness, Ralph's behavior became increasingly erratic. He would disappear for hours without any explanation, and when questioned, his justifications were flimsy at best. He became glued to his phone, guarding it with a fierceness that was new to Hillary. Whispers of his liaisons reached her ears, and one evening Hillary chanced upon a stray earring under their bed, a piece of jewelry she didn't own. The realization was like a punch to the gut. Hillary had trusted Ralph and opened her heart and home to him, and in return he had betrayed her. But Hillary was no naive damsel. She'd faced adversity before, and this was just another challenge she had to confront. Determined to protect her assets and her dignity, she reached out to Samuel. Samuel, a gray-haired man with sharp eyes, had been Hillary's lawyer for over 20 years. The two shared a bond of trust and mutual respect. As Hillary narrated her story, Samuel's expression remained unreadable. However, the slight clenching of his fist was evident enough of his fury on her behalf. "We'll handle this," Samuel assured Hillary, outlining a strategy to secure her wealth and expose Ralph for the fraud he was. Hillary, fortified by Samuel's support, prepared herself for the battle ahead. The tale of a woman scorned is a powerful one, but the story of a woman betrayed who chooses resilience over despair and actions over tears is even more potent. Hillary was ready to reclaim her life with dignity and grace, proving that no betrayal could break her indomitable spirit. In the confines of Samuel's office, with its wooden paneling and shelves lined with law books, the two old friends brainstormed. The atmosphere was heavy with a mix of Hillary's hurt and Samuel's burning desire for justice. Samuel, with his decades of experience, had contacts that spanned the city's upper echelons down to its shadowy alleys. They needed to be methodical, and they needed it to be thorough. First on the agenda was the evidence. Samuel got in touch with William, Rachel's investigator. Leveraging his resources and combining them with Samuel's own network, they began piecing together a damning portrait of Ralph. Nightclubs, hotels, and even weekend getaways, every encounter was meticulously recorded. Samuel's connections in the tech world helped them access surveillance footage, while a few bribes ensured they had testimonies from some of Ralph's liaisons. Every piece of evidence was duplicated and stored in secure locations. Hillary, for her part, played the role of the unsuspecting wife to perfection. She draped herself in a facade of contentment, ensuring Ralph remained oblivious. Their public outings were marked by Hillary's radiant smiles. Even as her heart clenched at every secretive glance, Ralph shot in another woman's direction. Throughout this, her evenings were spent in introspection. Hillary's thoughts wandered to her early life, the years of hardship in the orphanage after being abandoned as a baby. The memories of cold nights, the scarce meals, and the rare kindness of the staff made her the resilient woman she had become. That very orphanage had been the foundation of her strength and determination. In a moment of clarity, Hilary made a decisive choice. She called Samuel, and the two met at the orphanage, a now aging structure with peeling paint but still housing dreams and hopes of numerous children. Standing there with the sounds of innocent laughter around them, Hilary voiced her decision to bequeath her entire fortune to the institution. Samuel, ever the meticulous lawyer, began the process of revising her will. Every property, every piece of jewelry, every last cent was redirected towards the betterment and upliftment of the orphanage. Hilary felt a surge of warmth, knowing her hard-earned legacy would now pave the way for many bright futures. However, they weren't done. Samuel suggested a plan so audacious it took Hilary's breath away. A posthumous revelation. They would host a grand event after Hilary's time, under the guise of a will reading. Invitations would be sent to friends, family, and the cream of society. The evidence of Ralph's treachery would be showcased for all to see, stripping him not just of Hilary's fortune, but also his facade of decency. The days turned into weeks, and the plan was set in motion. Every detail was checked and double-checked. Discreet rehearsals were held to ensure the eventual revelation would be seamless. The final piece of the plan was a heartfelt letter penned by Hilary, expressing her gratitude to the orphanage and her hope for the future. The letter ended with a poignant note for Ralph, highlighting the value of love, trust, and integrity. The strategy, while elaborate, was a reflection of Hilary's spirit. It combined her desire to safeguard her legacy with her indomitable will to stand against deceit. In the face of betrayal, she chose strength, resilience, and a lasting impact, ensuring Ralph's treachery would not just be exposed, but would be remembered for ages to come. The day dawned somber, mirroring the heavy hearts of the city's elite as they prepared to bid farewell to one of their most celebrated figures. Hilary's passing had been sudden, leaving many in shock. Her mansion, which had witnessed countless grand events, was now the center of a melancholic gathering. Luxury cars lined the driveways as dignitaries, business moguls, and close friends arrived in their finest attire. The mansion's garden was transformed into a sea of white, elegant chairs, canopies, and lilies everywhere. Soft, mournful melodies played in the background, adding to the gravitas of the occasion. In the midst of the crowd was Ralph. Dressed in a pristine black suit, his demeanor was that of the perfect, grieving husband. His eyes, however, told a different story. Every now and then they darted around, gauging the reactions of the attendees. He exchanged hushed words with a few, nodding solemnly, accepting condolences. But behind this mask, Ralph was impatient. He eagerly awaited the reading of Hilary's will, confident he was about to become a very wealthy man. As the eulogies concluded and the attendees paid their final respects, Samuel made his way to the podium. A hushed anticipation settled over the gathering. Many were aware of Samuel's close association with Hilary and were very curious about the contents of her will. Samuel began by sharing personal anecdotes of his long-standing relationship with Hilary, painting a vivid picture of her grace, strength, and resilience. Taking a deep breath, he motioned to the AV team. A projector whirred to life, casting its glow onto a large screen at his back. What followed was a montage that left the audience stunned. Pictures of Ralph with other women, snippets from their clandestine meetings, and accounts from these encounters were displayed for all to see. The serene garden, once filled with hushed conversations and suppressed sobs, now resounded with gasps of astonishment and whispers of disbelief. Close-up shots depicted the color draining from Ralph's face, his once confident demeanor crumbling before their eyes. Each piece of evidence served as a sharp dagger, relentlessly piercing through his carefully constructed facade. Following the damning montage, Samuel, his resolve unyielding, commenced the reading of Hilary's updated will. He detailed her choice to bequeath her immense fortune, properties, jewels, and cherished antiques to the orphanage of her upbringing. With every uttered word, Ralph's illusions of opulence dissipated, leaving him shell-shocked. Retrieving an envelope, Samuel presented Hilary's personal letter addressed to Ralph. After a momentary pause, he recited, "To Ralph, amidst our moments of affection, I glimpsed optimism. Yet your deceit imparted a valuable lesson. True love bears no price tag. Learn its worth." The message resonated with a poignant mix of grief and reproach. As the ceremony concluded, murmurs spread among the attendees, pondering the unveiled truths. Ralph, once brimming with confidence, now appeared vanquished. Hastily, he departed, avoiding the scrutinizing gazes of the onlookers. His visions of a grandiose future lay shattered, his standing tarnished. Hilary's funeral became the talk of high society, not only marking the end of a beloved figure, but also serving as a stark reminder of the dangers of greed. Her tale circulated widely, showcasing the resilience of a woman who, even in passing, confronted deceit head-on, reaffirming the enduring truth that genuine love and honesty hold greater value than riches.